You have been sitting for quite some time, so if you want your blood to circulate, you might want to stand instead. So if you stand or sit, whatever posture that you are in, please make sure that your back is erect, back straight, head straight, eyes open. And maintain an unfocused gaze. As I mentioned this morning, there are two ways that you can maintain an unfocused gaze. Firstly, you can look far into the distance, beyond the wall in your room, beyond the windows. When you do that, you can still see shapes and forms, but they are not distinct. Another way is to adjust your focus to the space in between you and an obvious object. Now make sure that the obvious object in front of you is not too near, because if it's too near and you try to adjust to the space between you and the object, you might get cross-eyed. So you stand or sit with the back straight, head straight, eyes open. Then ask yourself a simple question. What is the mind aware of happening right now? It's a simple question, but the implications are wide. When you ask, what's the mind aware of? It means if the mind is not thinking, not daydreaming, not imagining, not falling asleep, what can the mind be aware of now? If the mind is not thinking, daydreaming, imagining, falling asleep, what else can it be aware of but the five senses? while you are at the five senses, remember this simple principle: free and easy, touch and go. Allow the mind to move freely among the five senses. Take it easy. Don't try to notice every single thing that is happening at the five senses. Touch and go, meaning as soon as you are aware of a particular sense experience, don't stay there. Ask the mind, what else? And move on. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. And yet, don't linger. Free and easy, touch and go is a formula for tracking the five senses. But if you have trained your mind for many years to do focused awareness with your eyes closed, this may be difficult, but please be patient and persistent. If your eyelids keep on shutting, as soon as you are aware, open them again and start afresh. If your eyes feel dry and watery, you may blink, but keep them open. Another issue that long-time focused awareness meditators face when they try to practice open awareness is the habitual tendency of the mind to stay with one object. For example, the breath. The mind is a creature of habit, and it takes time to retrain it. So please don't despair. If the mind automatically settles on your regular object of focus, allow it to stay there. But at the same time, ask the mind, besides the breath, what else can the mind be aware of? And once it's aware of something else, then ask the mind, what else? And keep on moving. You may come back to the breath again, but once it does so, ask yourself again, what else? So in this way, you retrain the mind to slowly open up its awareness. Free and easy, touch and go. As I said, is a formula for keeping track of the five senses, for anchoring your mind to the five senses. But the mind is not so obedient. Even though you try to anchor it to the five senses, it will still wander off. Memories could pop up, and you might be carried away by those memories, or plans for the future, or daydreaming, or feeling sleepy. So these are connected with the mental aspect, not the five senses. So when it comes to the mental activity, we make use of another formula, slightly different formula. Ada, anchor. Accept all things. Don't reject. Follow or ignore. Acknowledge them. Anchor mind to the five senses. First, you need to have the right attitude, which is to accept whatever happens as a product of causes and conditions. Even though you might not be able to experientially understand these causes and conditions for whatever that happens in your mind, accept this on good faith. so that you can move on to the D, which is don't reject, don't follow. If it's something you like, don't follow it. If it's something that you don't like, don't reject it. And if the thoughts are many, one after another, all enmeshed together, you can't even separate one from another. Just abandon them. And then anchor your mind to the five senses. Ada, anchor. This is the way, a practical way to extract the mind from obsessive or compulsive mental activity, like thinking, imagining, daydreaming, and so forth. However, if the thoughts are not so enmeshed and they are quite decently spaced apart, then you go a step further. Instead of just abandoning those mental activities, you acknowledge them. You don't ignore them, you know what they are, and then you come back to anchor yourself to the five senses. Accept all things, don't reject, follow or ignore, acknowledge them, anchor mind to the five senses. And once you have disengaged yourself from those mental activities, then you come back to free and easy, touch and go at the five senses. Back straight, head straight, eyes open, relax and be still. Are the anchor, rule of thumb, to still the monkey mind. Accept all things, don't reject, follow or ignore. Acknowledge them, anchor mind to the five senses. Free and easy, touch and go at the five senses. Okay, done.